Craig, let's start by looking back at the weekend. It was an impressive 6-2 victory against second place Pennebont, and we opened up a 6-point lead at the top of the JD Cumming Premier table.
Yeah, it was obviously leading into the game. It was going to be a big game, wasn't it? We'd had a good week already, a great result up at Llandudno against Carnarvon, and obviously Barry in the week before. So it was a real important game, and we played really well. We're well and truly on top of the game. That caused us a few problems from set plays and from a physical point of view, but as an open play and set up, then I think a little bit disappointed that we only scored 6, to be honest. But against Pennebont, who are a good team with good players and a good manager, then really pleased with the performance as well as the result.
And I know we've talked about him a lot recently. Jordan Williams, another impressive shift from him at the weekend, another second hat-trick of the season, secured the match ball. It must be a delight to have him in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, it is very much so. Nothing's really changed with Jordan apart from positional change. Really, he's had that same attitude, the same hard work, the same determination, and he makes things happen through his own endeavour as much as anything else. And then you look at a couple of finishes on at the weekend, and there were some fantastic goals as well. I think it's his second and third are really good finishes. 2 with his right foot, with his weaker foot, and so it's he's in a really good, rich frame of form. And I'm really pleased for him because he's been a pivotal part in the squad for the last 3 or 4 years, certainly since I've come back. And his work rate and his leads by example out on the pitch with closing down and doing all the so-called dirty stuff, and he's getting his just desserts right now.
Well, we take a break from league action this weekend. We begin our defence of the JD Welsh Cup on the road against Mold Alexandra.
Yep, I was there on Friday night. I went to watch Rill versus Mold, and the Mold played really well, especially the first half. It could have been 5 or 6 against Rill, and a couple of good lads up front who played really well. And it'll be a challenge. It'll be a little bit of a different challenge to us than what has been the last week. We know the pitch isn't going to be fantastic. It's obviously grass, and they're going to be very, very, very much up for it, I'd imagine. So it's a great opportunity for them to try and show what they can do, and obviously they're going to be huge underdogs, but we all know that means nothing on Welsh Cup Day. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago now that we went through on penalties against Chirk. So it's going to be a very, very similar style of game, I'd imagine, and they'll be well and truly up for it because like I said, I seen them on Friday night at Rill, and I was really glad I went up there, done my homework and had a good look at them, and it's not going to be an easy game.
I was going to ask you actually whether you did have a chance to see them in person. Is there anything different you need to do to prepare for a lower level team in the Cup, or is it just the same as normal?
No, it'll be the same as normal. Our preparation will be the same as normal. Obviously, like I said, I'm really glad I went to watch them. Like I said, the 2 lads up front were caused the problem for Rill all night. So it was good to see them, and it's good to see set players, etc. So it's always good if you can get there to see it live, and I'm really pleased I did.
Well, it was a great experience, wasn't it, back in May, winning the Welsh Cup down in Newport. I'm sure that's something yourself and the rest of the players want to feel again.
Yeah, it is. The Welsh Cup, it's high up on the agenda certainly for me, the players and the football club. But obviously, first and foremost, we the priority is the league, because of the avenues that opens up in European competition. But then the Welsh Cup is, well and truly second up that. It's a historic cup. I think I've won it 7 times as we stand. The club's won it, I think double figures, I think almost. So there's certainly a competition that we respect and we want to go further in. But we understand, we've had that experience a couple of years ago at Chirk where we know the lower league clubs are fighting for their opportunity to get through as well, because it's a huge money spinner as well.
I know you'll want to give full respect to Mold, of course, but with them being in the JD Cymru North, are we likely to see any players come into the squad who maybe haven't featured as much lately?
The same will go. I'll pick a team that I think will win the game, that I think's got the best opportunity to win the game, and players who deserve to play, and players who have done really well in a rich vein of form. So no, I can't. There's not going to be any players, get a sympathy vote or anything like that. There's going to be the players are going to play that I pick a team that I think are going to win the game, whether that's Mould, whether that's anybody. So, we'll give them full respect that they're due. And the one thing that we want is we want to go there. We want to certainly go through to the next round.
And then finally, Craig, what's the injury situation looking like as you put that team together for the weekend?
Yeah, good. good. You know, we're getting stronger all the time. Obviously, Leo Smith is moving on with his rehab. You know, Leo's got a long-term injury. Apart from that, I think we're near enough. You know, Ben Wilson will be out again for another week probably. So, but Ben will probably be back for either Clonethley or Haverfordwest. So that's good. But apart from that, I think we're all good. You know, we're getting everyone fit and, you know, getting stronger and fitter. Like I said, I think it was last week we had a behind closed doors game against Oldham, which was good for players who hadn't played an awful lot of football. So everyone's chomping at the bit and ready to get in the squad and get in the starting 11 and prove their point.